In this video we're going to be adding some lightness to the EG, but also doing some kind of mid-season upgrades slash repairs. So we're going to be trying to save some kilograms here and there. I filmed this video over a couple of days and ended up with about 8 hours of raw content, so yeah, I've tried to filter it down into something that's watchable, and then I ended up going to Donington after the test, which will be a following video. But yeah, this video, just working in the barn on the EG, adding some lightness, saving some kilos, and a little bit of maintenance. We also end up taking even more parts off the DC2. Now then chaps, welcome to another video. We're halfway through the season for the Hot Hatch Championship now. And it's probably time to stop making change with the car. We've been pretty successful the past 2 rounds, 2 lap records in a row. It's time to just leave the car alone, service it, and just enjoy the rest of the year, isn't it? No, it's not. I've got it in my head, right? Of course I've got it in my head. I'm always thinking, and you know, part of the fun with this car is trying stuff. And one of the things that I've got in my head that I can't get out of my head is that there's another yellow EG. Obviously we saw him rise up at Mallory behind us, and we saw him at Cadwell. He actually won both races at Cadwell in this other yellow EG. Guess how much lighter that EG is than my car? It's 100 kilos lighter than my car, and this car does feel heavy sometimes, and it is heavy for an EG. With me in it, it's basically 1100 kilos right on the scales. In the last video, didn't we? It's basically 1100 kilos. So we're going to add some lightness. Basically, there's a few things I'm going to do. Usual stuff. We've got about 20 kilos of ballast we can take out. We've also got a big heavy OEM dashboard. And the thing that we're going to concentrate on today, we're going to try and not have scatterbrain, which all my other EG videos have had. We're going to try and concentrate just on one thing. Trying to make a video over here.
Can't help it.
So the thing we're going to concentrate on today, as you'll have probably seen in the title, is we're going to convert the car to be manual power steering. No, manual steer. No power steering. No, we're going to delete the power steering. Now, if you remember when I bought this car, I'm not sure if I said it on video or not, but one of the main attractions to me was it still had the factory heaters, and it still had the factory. It still had the, you know, power steering, and I was like, oh, it's brilliant. That's going to be such a pleasure to race, and it is going to be such a pleasure to race. But I'm really curious what it can be like with some added lightness. And while I've got basically 2 of everything, you know, I can afford to have a play. I've also arranged another engine for this today, right? So in case you're wondering, we'll get there, right? So what we're going to do over this video and the next video is we're going to add some lightness, right? It's currently 1100 kilos. Our target's 1050. We'll have to run less power, but this engine for some reason is less powerful anyway. We'll do all this, we'll do all the work with the weight, and then we'll go to the dyno, and you know, we're going to do all this before the next round, which is in 4 weeks. We've got plenty of time, right? Anyway, this all came about because I was trying to fit the oil cooler from the DC2, which has not had a blown up engine run through it. I was trying to fit it on here, and the power steering cooler line thing was getting in the way. But also at Cadwell, I was having some concerns, also at Mallory, I was having some concerns about the power steering. It was running, it was making a horrible noise basically, and it was running a little bit hot. Now, could have been because I didn't put the genuine Honda fluid in it, you're quite right, yeah. But, right, we're gonna manually convert this right now. On the DC2, I ran it with no power steering for years, but all I did was looped it, which is, you basically take the line off, loop it back round, and you're still pushing hydraulic oil around every time you want to steer. The difference on this one is, we're going to take this rack out, we're going to open it up on the bench, the mostly clean, almost clean workbench. We're going to open it up, and we're going to chop out all of the hydraulic oil stuff. We're going to grease the Jesus out of it, and we're going to run it just as a manual rack. Okay, so we're doing a conversion. I was thinking about putting a DC2 rack in, but it turns out it's already got a DC2 rack, but perhaps not from a Type R. But the rack's fine. I like the steering feel and everything like that. Certainly the lock to lock, it doesn't feel like it's definitely not an original EG rack, you know, it's faster than that. But yeah, long story short, we're going to do that today, right? Sorry, I keep going too long on the intro, I know. So I'll bring you along the way. We're going to take the rack out of the car. We're going to get rid of the power steering stuff. We'll put it in a box so we can get a rough idea of how much it weighs. This looks like a suitable box. Yep. We'll hopefully save, I don't know how much, probably between 5 and 7 kilos from that. Obviously that'll free up a bit more momentum from the engine as well. I'm not sure how that'll equate to wheel power or not. I don't know how it measures it on the dyno, but we'll do that. And then we're going to take out all of the, because it's got an OEM DC2 dashboard and everything like that. We're going to take that out and we're going to put that in this car. And this car's got a dashboard which is just like a shell. We'll put that in the race car. We'll put a little race heater in it and stuff like that. And yeah, I think we'll hopefully get it down. The car's 1100 now. With the ballast out as well, which is about 20 kilos, I'm hoping I can get it down to 1050, okay? All right, let's get the steering rack out. I'm gonna keep this complete, by the way, the power steering setup. We'll try it on a track day, hopefully before the race. We've got plenty of time, so hopefully we can get to a track day and test it. You know, if I don't like, I can't imagine not liking it though. I drove this thing without power steering for a long time, and driving to the track and driving to the Nürburgring was a bit of a pain. You notice not having power steering then, but on track you didn't really notice it, so I'm hoping the same. But remember, we're adding lightness, yeah? If we add lightness, yes, we have to run less power, but the brakes, the tyres, everything just is happier, right? And I'm also adding lightness myself. I've lost some weight, thanks for noticing. Yeah, I know, right? All right, I've got most of the front part off. Just draining in there, look, the cooler. Got the reservoir off. Just going to take the pump off now, but I just need to lower the car so I can see. I'm hoping to be able to keep that high pressure hose connected. Bastard. Oh, the splitter is such a good workbench, by the way. A little shelf. So that high pressure hose goes onto the rack. How does it attach to the rack? Goes into a hard line, then the hard line goes into the rack. I can see it. If you've been following me for a while, a lot of you say you've been following me since the DC2 crash. Well, if you followed me from when I had my DC2 on the drive back in the day, you might remember my DC2 there used to be a forum, itrdc2.com, and I had a thread on there, and I deleted the power steering on my drive when it was B series. What's that? I think it might be a 14 and a 17. Okay, so that's the feed and the return off the rack. And yeah, we need to get that UJ. I think we might be able to do that easier from inside the car. I think it's just a 12 or a 10. A job for the Milwaukee. What the hell? What's all this? It's got all the factory fucking dust clamps on it and stuff. What? I'm sorry if you can't quite see, but it's a bit tight in here. It should come off now. Come off. Oh yeah. Oh, she's freshly greased. It's quite nice actually. I like the thing that was on there. Why won't he go on? Just need to reset the oxygen into the brain, and then we'll go back down. Alright, I guess we just put it up now and track where it ends off and then try and get the rack out. All good. Oh, we had a CV joint fail at Cadwell. I've changed it already. Need to repair that one. Okay, so now we just have that lower bolt. Skip forward a bit. Start to finish, that took me 3 hours, right? 3 hours on a ramp. And I mean, it was the old case of tried to take shortcuts, ended up on long cuts, you know. We do like a long cut, I know, we do like a long cut, but yeah. Oh man, I mean, I don't think taking the tie rods off would have made it any easier. That didn't really seem to get in the way. Maybe right at the end, I had to really compress the driver's side one, but I was feeling pretty spent a lot of the time. I kept saying, no, stay to the end, stay to the end. It's just ticked 11 o'clock, man. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll work on getting that. Look at the mess, just tools, honestly, like all the subframe bolts are loose on this side. They're pretty much out on the other side, most of them. See, they've got some down there, and then I've got a socket wedged in there to bridge it, and then managed to get my hole here and had to undo the rear engine mount and take the exhaust off, and just wasn't a fun time. Right. No shortcuts today. We'll do things properly. Yeah. Maybe. Right, I've had a little tidy up, nothing drastic. Don't worry, pal. Just give yourselves a bit of room to work on this. So we're actually following a guide. Look at these photo buckets, can you see that? So we're following a guide by someone called RS250 Nut. I presume that's an Aprilia reference, wants to be done it. He reckons he did this from removing the rack and putting it back in 3 to 4 hours. It took me 3 to 4 hours to get the rack out and we're on a ramp, but this guy must be a trustworthy source if he's operating that quickly. So we need to get the rack ends off anyway. Obviously there's still some fluid in it. Oh no. Oh no, not on the E36 lights. Fresh. 32. Is that like a little compression fitting or something? That weren't exactly tight, you know. I was expecting that to be a lot, to put more of a fight, but sure. Judo chop. Judo chop. Yeah, that's weird. This side, well, should I say the other side, weren't exactly tight. And this has got grease on it. It looks like grease, maybe it's just old past fluid. What are you doing? So you can go here because you're the driver's side. Right, I think the next thing that we attack is this nut. Should we check the heat shield off? Right. That'll be alright, won't it? But this one looks like it's been off before, doesn't it? It's been paint marked. Someone's been here before. Right, take it all off. On the passenger side of the steering rack is a big aluminium nut. Alright, so that must be this one. And yeah, I can see the hole they were referring to is that one. So at the minute I'm reading this guide that I found on the EK9 forum on how to convert a power steering rack to manual. What I forgot was that I was actually making a video at the same time, so yeah, a lot of it was just kind of nonsense. But what I'm focusing on here is there's a big nut. Now this nut actually ends up being a bolt in a sense. It's actually connected to a threaded section that goes inside the rack. And that's been staked, and what we need to do is drill it out to release the pressure on the threads, otherwise we're going to ruin them. Where's the swarf going to go? What? Honestly, I was not pressing hard on that. Fuck. I was barely putting any force into that. Looks like we're going 2.5. Do have the 3 somewhere probably, but that's annoying. Okay, got rid of it now. Just about. Alright, we got it. Children. Oh yes, so it's like a diff, innit? Crown wheel and pinion. It looks minging, doesn't it? That looks like it's got real hot. I think that is actually power steering fluid that's just got real hot and minging. It's got to be, hasn't it? Jarvis Cocker agrees. Could do with a clean place to put these things, couldn't I? Why you got a front? Oh, there we go. Should have moved the cat litter. Hydraulics. I've been watching a lot of hydraulic channels lately. Obviously AVE's a hydraulics man, isn't he? He's going a bit wappy these days, but I've been watching some people in Australia do hydraulics. Right, so we need to remove this. I think it's the next part. Hello. There we go. Right, we are done. Well, we're not done actually. We need to undo something on there. We'll get to it in a moment. But the juicy part's done. So we just need to clean this now and grease it. We clean as much as we can out. The next thing we're working on is on the pinion. There's some hydraulics kind of hardware that we need to remove. I don't know what the name for it is, but you'll see it in a moment. Oh, yeah, comes out. And we need to remove that circlip there, maybe? And take this off. Fucking hell, that was a pain in the ass. Got like gunk in there. Right, I'm going to spend some time cleaning and putting back together, which won't be that interesting to watch. So I'll see you on the flip side when everything's ready to go back in the car. Tap. I started putting the steering rack back in, but I figured some of you might want to know how I got it out. Maybe, I don't know. There's got to be one or two of you, aren't there? Just put in that hole, basically, yeah. I had to take a few bits off, like the lines. I don't need those lines anymore, because, well, maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm going to fit them back on because I can't get any blanks. Ed's just gone to get me some M16 and M14 bolts to make some blanks for the high pressure side. I'm just going to put the lines on for the other side. And that needs to go on the boot. The hardest thing to do when I was getting it out was, I mean, it's because the exhaust manifold was on. I should have just took the exhaust manifold off, and I would have had a much better time, but whatever. This might have been an interesting thing to film, but I forgot I was doing videos and that for a little bit. Those bungs, I couldn't get any bungs, so I had to buy bolts. Obviously, bolt, M16 bolt on the right there, big hex head on it, and these sit next to each other. So in order to get the next one in, I've had to proper muller it. This is the M14 one. To proper like muller it, and yeah, I'm just going to put a slot in it now so I can tighten it up. But yeah, couldn't get the right bungs, so I had to make some stuff, and bloody hell. That's what it's ended up looking like. Nice. I've just removed the power steering pump and fitted an idler pulley from an EP3. This was from the DC2, if you remember, we put a new bearing in it, so that should be good to go. I've ordered a shorter belt as well. I'm hoping just an on-aircon EP3 belt will be alright, but we'll figure it out. We've still got to fit the stack extender thing to there, whatever you call it, the plates in between. That'll be another job, another day. But we're nearly there on the manual conversion. Just going to put it back together. And obviously we'll need to do the alignment again, but that'll not be this video. I need to do that in my own time. I've got loads of stuff to do on this over the next few weeks. Not just adding lightness, but we've got some preventative maintenance as well. I've got a new radiator, and we've got the oil cooler to go on, some fresh oil and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll carry on. But yeah, we're near the end now. Hopefully that was interesting to watch. Yeah, workbench looking good. Of course it's on the floor. So I noticed this the other day when I was taking that apart. The poly bush where the lower fork goes started to split a little bit, but you know, race car things, and you see a little bit of a problem, you may as well fix it. And that got me thinking, oh, maybe I should put some sphericals on it. Remember we bought all sphericals for this? Well, this ain't going anywhere anytime soon, and oh, you can cry if you want, crocodile tears. No, it is a fair comment, like, you know. But I do have, like I said at the start of the video, I have made plans for this which are quite exciting. Bought a new engine and all that, but I think for the time being it'd be nice to try. Well, I can't remember what other bushes it's got. Is it Super Pro or something? Basically, there's no point buying more bits when there's bits on here. So yeah, this is the bush that I need. And the rear control arm bush is it's a spherical lad, so I'm going to take that off. It's a hard race spherical one. I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to take this arm off, or maybe just take the bush out of it. And yeah, I'll put some more bits on the egg. Alright, so that was the video about converting a rack to manual. Fully converted it. As far as a weight saving measure, I mean, every kilo counts, right? And with a power steering pump being so high in front of the car, then obviously losing weight there is good. You know, it's like, you know, and when it's in front of the turrets, and that's going to be good. Dashboard and all that we're going to strip, that'll be, you know, general weight, but it's in between the turrets, so hopefully it won't make any difference. But it's also off the front right. Don't forget that power steering pump, the heaviest corner. So okay, the observant of you will notice the steering rack's not in the car anymore. Right, post credits information. You might know this, you might have been shouting at the telly, but I had a chat with Mr. Honed last night and told him what I was doing yesterday, and he says, did you weld the pinion? I thought, no, why would I weld the pinion? Well, there's a really good video on YouTube about this which shows you this a little bit better. Obviously I'm holding the camera while doing it, but look at that, can you see it? So it turns out that the pinion's got some kind of like, so you've got here where the steering goes, right? And then between where the steering goes and the actual turning on the rack, there's like a torsion bar thing, which is super weird, right? And the hack is to grind some bits away here and weld it, and obviously it would have been a lot easier to do that with the rack not still, well, not in the car for one, but for two, not be I can't be arsed stripping it again, so I'm just going to do it kind of here in situ. This bearing's got a shield around it. I hope it's a good shield. Might just put some tape around it just for now. I don't want to break anything. Obviously that bearing would always be there anyway, but I'll try and cover the surfaces up best I can, and then we're going to grind some away here, and we're just going to do a little bit of weld. It doesn't need to be a lot, but we're just getting rid of that slop. That is a lot, man. Jesus. Did not notice that. So yeah, we're welding it here. Makes it like more like one piece. This is weld through insulation tape, don't worry about it too much. The steering's always still going to be connected regardless, we're just, you know, adding more. So even if it breaks, then it's not gonna damage anything, you know. I guess we need to be careful about grinding. Oh, we just need to try and go where the lip is. Just take like a bit of the lip off. This is going to be very bad for the GoPro, so I'll see you on the other side. Alright, so now we go to the welder, stick those together, and lose the slop. Maybe. I think I got it penetrated anyway. I mean, the guy I watched the video, he only did like dabs, right? Which is all you need to do, isn't it? I don't know. But it's fucking solid now, boys. I'm gonna clean it up. I don't want to turn it yet until we clean it up. But we'll clean it and yeah, hopefully have a good time. I mean, it's not perfect, but remember, it's not carrying like the full load. We're good to spin it yet? I've been doing suspension stuff. That's what I've been doing. Look. Hello. 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 Fucking, where's my little brush then? Remember, even if this fails, because you're worried, even if it fails, it's still connected. It's just, we're just making it stronger in a sense, yeah. But no, that's good. It's worked well. Right, well that's it anyway. I'm going to put it back in the car, but that was the last thing to do if you are following this as a guide, or maybe you're just using it as a bit of curiosity. But yeah, so that shaft is now connected all in one piece. Now then, YouTube, welcome to another EG garage video. We last spoke real time a couple of days ago. I don't know how the videos are doing. It's the 24th of July. We last spoke about the EG because we were removing the power steering. If you remember, we did a proper delete on it. We converted the rack and then even did a little bit of welding at the end, which a bit suspicious, isn't it? Everyone that I've told about that has been like, oh, what the fuck? But anyone, you know, in the Hondas, it's pretty common. So I think the YouTube comments might be quite interesting from that. Most likely there'll be some theories about you know, some kind of Senna incident happening maybe. But today anyway, we're going to concentrate on some more weight loss. Yeah, we're going to look at the interior and probably remove the dash and everything like that and build another dash based on spares from the DC2. But before we start, I need to inform you about the pain that I've had over the past couple of days. Yesterday wasn't too bad. I got the oil cooler on yesterday. Spent a lot of time on this, a lot of time, untested yet. We've got the Hybrid Racing radiator in now, which I originally got for my Integra probably 6 or 7 years ago, I think. The big boy is slightly bigger, the other one, but it is leaking, weeping slightly. I left this overnight with a full, what do you call it? I've not started the car up yet. The cooling system was completely dry. We've put a thermostat back in it. I've put the inlet spacer back onto it. I had a bit of bother with this back screw here. These are held on with 8 M6 bolts, and I didn't realise I could, well, I didn't think, right? I didn't think, but I could have just took the alternator off and had lots of access there, but I struggled from underneath. I struggled from underneath and had like, you know, a tiny little bit of movement on the ratchet, and somehow managed to strip the thread a little bit. But we're going to see if it leaks anyway. It's on everything else is on there pretty tight. If not, we'll be having to take the inlet manifold off and, you know, doing a helicoil or something. But hopefully it doesn't leak. But, you know, who wants an air leak? Not me. Not me, obviously. But we'll see if it leaks, and we'll keep an eye on it. If not, it should be pretty easy to spot if it does leak. We've also got the DC2 front control arms on. So can you see that? Just about, yeah. We've got the hard race rear compliance bush, and we've now got Super Pro poly bushes here, right? The rear end hasn't changed, leaving the rear end alone, but hopefully this will complement the steering rack. You know, it should have loads of feel from the front end now. This bush on the other side where the fork goes into was starting to split, so a bit of preventative maintenance on there. Now the oil cooler install, I spent ages on that yesterday, and yeah, I've routed the lines along the chassis rail and done all I can. There's about an inch gap to the crank pulley, so that should be plenty. Previously they were routed kind of up and over here, if you remember. I don't know if you ever saw that or noticed that, but yeah, we're going underneath. It's shorter lines and yeah, tidier all around, hopefully, you know. But it's got four P-clips on, 2 on each line. The lines are pretty rigid. I cut one of them too short and one of them too long, so it's not perfect by any means. I had to do a bit of massaging here as well to get the right clearance, but yeah, it's not ideal for cooling of the radiator either, but is what it is, right? It is what it is. I also had a casualty the other day. Pay F in the chat, please, for the Knipex. No, the Knipex. I tried to cut what I thought would be fine. It was kind of like a rivet shaped thing that was holding the radiator fan on the old radiator, and the Knipex just died. I'm really sad about it. I'm going to try and get them to change it on warranty if they will, but yeah, really sad about that. Obviously the splitter's off and everything. Today I'm going to tidy up, because look at the mess. I've had a right mess. I'm going to do the need to put the exhaust on and stuff like that. I'm going to bleed the coolant and stuff, and then I'll see you for the weight loss. I probably should have videoed more this weekend, but I just wanted to get stuff done, and then I ended up having such a lot of hassle. I cross-threaded the steering rack, putting that back on as well. I had it off like 3 times, and then on one of the times I managed to get, oh, it was just a pain. I managed to fix it in the car, but it's been a painful couple of days. Hopefully today will be a lot easier, but I'm going to get all this back together roughly, have a bit of a tidy up, and then we'll get the car on the floor. We still need to do the suspension and stuff, but I've got a track day in 2 days at Donington. Well, I've got the rest of today, and we're going to go to Donington on Wednesday to test out the new setup. So we need to really crack on with doing some more weight reduction inside. So let me get all this tidied up, and I'll see you there. All right, mostly done with the tidy up. I've just thrown the Advans on. Yeah, something else that I bought for the Integra, but these are 17 inch, 8.5 inch wide, and ET35. They're not the ones I ran at Blighton. I've got a staggered set. I ran some 7.5s at Blighton. I'm just wondering how much room I've got, and to me, it looks like I've got a lot of room up there. This is a 215/45 tyre. The biggest you can run in hot hatch is a 235, and it'd be a 45 as well, because that's the only thing that Yokohama or Dunlop or anyone does. But I'm thinking I could get that in there. And we'll see what it looks like when it's sat down. That lip might be a problem at the top. Yeah, we're going to move to the interior now anyway. I still need to run the car and bleed stuff and all that, but I'm going to do that after. I want to look at the interior. I'd probably started this video by saying we're going to make it lighter, but I don't think we are. Well, we are. There is a couple of things we're going to do, but it's not raking, by the way. I've jacked the front up. I had to think myself there. Got it super high on the front with them 17s, hasn't it? No, I've jacked up the front because I was putting the steering rack back together inside. Yeah, we are going to do one thing. We're going to take the deadweight battery out of that and put this in, and then take the ballast out, and that'll knock us back by about 24 kilos. So with that and the other jobs, we might be down to 1070. The reason I'm not going to take any more out, there's 2 reasons. One, I can't be arsed, because it's all very nice inside of there and the OM heaters work good and everything like that. And 2, I just spoke to Josh, because he's recently took the heaters out and he weighed them, and we'd probably save about 5 kilos or thereabouts by doing it, but he is concerned about us still making too much power after that. So he says don't do anything too irreversible. So I think just swapping the battery and doing the ballast, that'll only take, you know, a couple of minutes, whereas if I completely redo the dashboard and everything, it's going to take considerably longer than that. But we're going to do that now anyway, and I'll just bring you along for the ride of setting this car up with the suspension and stuff ahead of the track day at Donington, which I'm doing in 2 days. So we'll just have a chill little EG day, shall we? We'll not rush to make it lighter. We will take the ballast out, we will swap the battery over, but let's not worry too much about the dashboard, because if we take the ballast out and swap that battery, which is a lead acid battery. It's still a lightweight one, a race battery, but it's 6 kilograms, whereas the dead weight one will be 1.7, I think. So gains to be had there. We could maybe cut some metal out of the rear doors. I don't think that metal's going to weigh a huge amount, but we could maybe kind of DC2, that's all been cut out. Carbon roof would be nice. I thought about that. I don't know if there's anywhere that does them, but carbon roof would be nice. We can also have a look behind here, and I think, I mean, I don't know if you'll be able to see up there, but the OEM crash bars are still in. So they'll weigh quite a lot, but that's kind of key to the integrity of the door, and if you get bashed in the door, obviously, these door bars will help us not get crushed. But we have taken the power steering stuff off this side, so that'll help. But yeah, anyway, let's take this out, get the dead weight in, and save some kilograms. Right, I've already pulled the dead weight out of the MR2. We're going to do a bit of a weight test in a minute. We'll see how much we're gaining by doing this, or losing for that matter. Tempted to get the angle grinder out still on some of this rear plastic. And is that door bar in or not? Oh no, they have taken out the passenger door bar, so that's the same as what I did on the MR2. Take out the passenger door bar and leave the drivers in, just for, you know, probably don't weigh that much, probably a kilo, but we still need to finish that off, don't worry about it. So these and these, that together is probably a kilo. And then the associated ballast, everything together will be about 20 kilos, I think. Oh, it's heavy anyway. Ugh. It feels like more. Oh, 9.5, and I think that one's 8.8, so plus the hardware and everything will be about 20. Okay, so what we got? 25 kilos and 2 kilos. So we're going to drop 23 kilos. How much of that is battery? 25? That's 7 kilos, that battery. Super deaf now, the dog. Mad, isn't it? A few years ago, the first 12, 13 years of her life maybe, that would have sent her daft. See how long it takes her to realise. Oh. Oh, what's that? What's that? What's this? Huh? Were you sleeping? Were you sleeping on the job? Some biscuits? Some biscuits? Yeah? Got it. Just a few. They're nice, yeah? Right. Interior done. Steering rack's back on. The front suspension's still loose. So our next job is to put it in the air, sit it on the tables, tighten up all suspension and everything like that. Maybe we run the engine whilst we're doing that, because we need to change the oil still, bleed the coolant, and then we'll weigh it, we'll put the other wheels back on, weigh it, then we'll check the corner weights, see where they're at, because they've probably been mixed up a little bit, yeah. And then we've got a wheel alignment, and then we're done. Can we do all that tonight? We don't need to, we've got a full day tomorrow as well, but let's try and get as much done tonight as what we can. Right, hoop stands are on. I'm just going to lower it down, but I thought this gives us a nice opportunity to watch the suspension compress in real time. Where's my torch? Hello, Mr. Torch. I mean, you all love science, don't you? That's why you watch this channel. Scheiße. So the interesting thing, how close those turrets, doesn't look like they've been hitting. Common problem with the blue tile. the blue style. Yeah, so what's this going to allow me to do now is do the corner weights once we get the scales out. But before we do that, we need to go around the suspension and tighten it all up. Now it's at ride height. Get the torque wrench out and the paint marker and do it properly. Sweet. Hey, I've not videoed for a little bit because there's been some weirdness going on. Some weirdness. For one, the coolant, they're always a bit bastards. They're always hard to bleed, right? And it was acting a bit funny. I don't have my laptop here to see exactly what the coolant temperature is, but the fan came on real early, and yeah, but the gauge was not. I mean, yeah. Long story short, we're going to do it again tomorrow with the computer, so we can see what the engine coolant temperature is. And the oil cooler doesn't leak at all. That got nice and warm. Everything seemed good. But the super strange thing, the thing that takes over everything is I drained the oil to put some fresh oil in it because it still had the old, mixture of 2 different oils in it from when it was in the Integra, and then we raced it at Cadwell. Drained the oil. How much oil did I get out of it? It should be about 6 litres, 5 litres. 3. I got 3 litres out of it. So does that mean that this... I checked it before and it was alright. Does that mean that this is holding a litre? Doesn't seem likely, does it? Yeah, I wanted to give it a flush, but I guess I've not done it right. I guess I should have maybe... I don't know, how would you do it? How would you do it? How would you give it a flush? That's an interesting one. You can tell me in the comments. Maybe I have to like take the cooler off and empty it now, but I can't bother doing that. I'm sure it'll be fine. But I've just put another 5 litres in now and it's up to where it should be, so I don't know, man. But anyway, I'm going to pack up for today because it's getting late. I have messed around for a while. Tomorrow we'll find out how much it weighs now with the remedies, and just we'll probably do the wheel alignment again, just double check that after doing the steering rack job. And then yeah, we'll be ready for Donington. So see you tomorrow, final prep day. Alright, we're back. Sorry it's all a bit noisy, but I'm gonna bleed this coolant again. You're just chilling, aren't you? This is meant to be a 70-degree thermostat, which was in the Integra. Maybe it's working today. That feels kind of hot. If we come into here and don't bang our heads, we can see the engine coolant temps at 77. But the idle is high. It starts low. For the first kind of 30 seconds, it'll be about 800, and then it climbs to 1,000, sits at about 1,000. And it's the same throttle body as before. I'm pretty sure it's the same adapter and everything. Oh no, it can't be, it's a different adapter. So it seems like I've got an air leak, but if it was going to be anywhere, it'd be that corner, but that corner, no. All the other bolts torqued up good, so I don't know. I guess it could be from the exhaust. Maybe the exhaust's not on right, but I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know, seems pretty. If you spray it on the air filter, it'll change straight away, listen. See? I don't know. The idle's definitely higher than what it should be, but anyway, it seems like it's bleeding today. It wouldn't bleed last night. It definitely seems like it's bleeding today, so that's good. What's the diagnosis, Captain? Right, we've hey, I made the the historical mistake today of thinking I didn't have a lot to do, so you know, I had not a relaxed mode. Then I was editing Mallory Park video, you'll have seen that by now. But what's happening, chaps, is it doesn't look like the wideband sensor's working, which could explain the high idle, maybe. But we've got a high idle for some reason, so I'm trying to fix that. The coolant's bled at least. Engine oils looks all good. I need to drain the gearbox oil. I may as well do that now, I guess. Do the gearbox oil, get that done. And then I'm going to take the exhaust off, because the exhaust, it's making a funny sound. Like there's a funny sound coming in the exhaust, and we were just wondering maybe there's something lodged in it or something from the, you know, the thing that happened. Well, did not expect that to come off so easy. Is there anything stuck? I forgot how shit this was. I don't like this job, but it's done just about. A lot of bodging going on. Let's not stress about it. Let's just get it back on the car. Ed's arrived. They gave me some more metal cable ties, which are garbage. These ones are garbage. And yeah, I've not got the proper tool, but never needed it before. Apparently need it now. Whatever. He's got a spare wideband sensor, so we can test that as well. But I'm gonna put the exhaust back in the car now. Yeah. We still need to do the geo and stuff. It's 5:30, we've got a couple of hours. Oh, the day's just gone, the day's just gone. I spent an hour doing that, probably didn't need to bother, but I'm hoping that it'll, maybe try and get another cable tie around there. I'm hoping that it'll, you know, less damage of less risk of damaging stuff, you know what I mean? Right, this is turning into a bit of a, because it's going to be a late night, guys. I'm going to be honest. It's going to be a late, that's what you're tuning in for, right? To see the struggles. Well, this radiator, this brand spanker-ish, that's, you know, been thrown about. I probably got it 2017, I think. It's got an O-ring. It's got a little bleed valve here with an O-ring on it, and I've noticed this drip all day, and I thought it was just from the overflow when I was doing that earlier, but no. There's a little O-ring there, and yeah, she's no longer. She's no longer sealed. Luckily, Ed, the champion, had this in stock, so we're going to try and guess what it is. That looks about right. And we're going to try and change it without losing all the coolant that we've spent a long time bleeding. Yeah. So I'm going to try and, with one hand, seal that and then get an O-ring onto it. I can't even, there's no way around it. I'm just gonna have to do it. And if I have to bleed the coolant again, I have to bleed the coolant again, right? It is what it is. So that's the old, oh, it's tiny. A bit too small. So I've got one that's a bit too big and one that's a bit too small. I guess we go with the one that's a little bit too small, right? Definitely needs an O-ring anyway, because it's still leaking. Alright, come on then, let's fucking have it. At least it's not hot, because I've been fucking about doing that exhaust for ages. Oh, this is not going to be easy. These torches are so shit on the battery life. I think that's dry. So I want to put the subframe on, the splitter on and the bumper on so we can weigh it. So I need to do all that yet. I think that's got it though. Right, we'll do something else. I need to look at that sensor still. Hopefully it just works now, even though I've changed nothing. Right, we're on to the corner weighting stage. We've ignored the wideband for now, we'll come back to it. Everything's still a mess. 935 as is. I was actually 89.9 or something like that on my own scales today for the first time, or yesterday. But we'll go with me being 95 in race gear, so we need to make that say 1030, yeah? So I think we are going to be about right for our 1060 target, but let's throw some bags in, get the weight up. No spiders, please. We don't want spiders. To be fair, there's been too many flies up here lately. I'd welcome some spiders. I've got the dirt and base. Dirt and base. Fuck. Tired, man. I'm not eating all day. Doing fasting to try and lose weight. It's good, like, you know, it works. It's meant to have other health benefits too, but it's yeah, it's tough. The fuel, I put that 12 litres back in already, so there's, you know, about race ending fuel on, which is what we want to be looking at. So we want about another 7 kilos. Who weighs 7 kilos? Oh, sponsored by Miller's. Got a care package the other day. Maybe one of you and one of you. So the car's now on full Miller's lubricants. 1030. Yeah, 1029. 1028. 1029. I know, ramp blocks. Don't worry about it. Okay, 1030. So, what are our cross weights now, Captain? Pretty much cock on. Not too far. Obviously the front right is still very heavy. Oh, the rear left's super light. Super light. Oh, don't like that. Okay, we got it. What? Don't fucking... Thank you. Take a picture before it changes. So that's good. We've got a more even spread across the front axle. The rear axle's fucked, but you can only do so much with obviously where the actual weight of things is. You're just trying to fine balance, you know, how the car sits on the road, or maybe something like that, science-wise. But that's done. So now we get to put some wheels on and see how much it weighs in race trim. Right, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. What does the EG now weigh in post-race trim? I'm hoping 1060. I'm hoping 1060. We'll see. So remember, we've removed the power steering, we've removed the ballast, and we've removed, we've changed the battery to a lighter weight one. That's all we've done now. Maybe not as much as what we could do. We could maybe do some more in the future. But what does it weigh? I'm going for 1060 on the nose. You fucking what, mate? No, that's more. That's a lot more than what I thought it'd be. Where's that coming from? I mean, it's a 30 kilo saving, or 40 kilo saving there or thereabouts. Because I was 11.10 at Mallory post-race, but I was carrying a bit more fuel, well, a lot more fuel. I can't really count fuel as a weight loss. What? Why is this? I mean, you're 10 kilos, but I think you're worth it. Oh, we've got an oil cooler as well. So add on a few kilos for that. Not left anything heavy in there, have I? No. Oh, disappointing. Do Genuinely disappointed with that. Got a way smaller radiator on as well, so there should be less coolant in it. I want my power steering back. Right, well I am a little bit underwhelmed by that. We'll call it 1070 as far as power's concerned, and that makes it a click, that makes it a torque wrench for knees. 214 brake will be our new maximum peak. So that's what, 9 down on what it was before. Yeah, I was hoping it'd be 10 kilos less than that. But I mean, there's opportunities to do other stuff, and that's not now because, you know, it's 20 past 8 and I need to set the car up and everything still. To make myself feel better, we're going to do something a little bit aggressive on the rear camber. It's already quite a lot, but if you look at how these tyres are wearing, and Josh has had this with these AO52s as well, the outer edge is wearing, like, look, it's nearly bald, the outer edge, and it's getting hot as you can see. So it's currently 4 degrees, we're going to go to 5 degrees. Darkside are going to have some pyrometers there tomorrow, so at Donington. We're sharing a garage with Scott from Darkside, and he's going to try and find some time in his TT, and I might borrow the pyrometer at one point and we'll see what it's actually doing. But yeah, that will make me feel a little bit better. So not that I'm like completely gutted or anything, I was just hoping it'd be more, you know. I ended up stealing more parts off the Integra. Look at the difference in these rear camber arms. Obviously this one's been at the bottom of the sea for a bit, but I could only get like 3.5 degrees of rear camber with this Skunk 2 arm, and the hard race one's probably an inch shorter, so should be able to get where we want to be with that. Yeah, the clock is ticking. You're all getting real sleepy now, aren't you? Oh, just go to sleep then, mate, easy. Right, we're a few hours on, it's just about to tick over 10 PM, but camber was a success. Well, I don't really call it a success, but the front was out, but it was out in an even amount, so I'm pretty sure I've just put this on a cog the wrong way, so we're gonna spin it round. Come in, hello, screws mate. Yeah, this is the second time spinning it round, but don't worry about that. I went the wrong way the first time. So we need to go 2 cogs to the right. It's just under 4.5 there. It's just over 4.5 there, so we are going to have to adjust it, but say we've had the front end in pieces, that's not too bad. 43. 43.5. We might be able to not do any measurements, any change. We need to cut the bumper tomorrow, maybe do it before I go today. Right, so the camber, I wound it right in, -5. I had to change the hard race. I had to change the hard race control arms, camber arms, but that's fine. What I did with the toe, with the ride height changes and all that, is towed it out a little bit. So we've now got a mil of toe out, front and rear. That's on 17s though, so I think if you measured it on 15s, we don't really have opportunity to check that, do we? No, not really, no. It'll be the 17-inch wheel there. If that's a mil, then when it comes, I guess, it's a mil difference, right? So what would Pythagoras say about that? Anyway, it's sendable. I'm just going to do a final bolt check underneath. I'll probably jack it up. Well, we need to tighten up the steering. Let's tighten up the steering, and then we can do a final little bolt check, and then should have opened the door first. And I need to get GB off trailer, get this on trailer, get loaded up. If I leave by midnight, I think we'll be doing well. But we all do it for the fun, don't we? Jesus, it's taking some torque. Well, I got them torqued up eventually, but wow, took some effort. Like, that's why torquing's a good idea, because I went, I'm trying to scrub that pink paint off, but yeah, that's why torquing's a good idea, right? Because I went way harder then than what I thought I would have had to. Find a different colour paint pen. Right, that marks the end. The end. The end. It's the end. Well, obviously not, because I've got a lot of tidying up to do now. Packing, loading. Oh, I'm gonna throw it up in the air as well and just see if there's anything that I might have missed, you know. I'm gonna take the DC2 steering rack with me. I mean, just in case, right? That's fine. So I took the camber arms off it, the steering rack, the engine, the lower control arms. Nice. Tie rods on. I can't wait for the tie rods. Spare. Spare. I think that's quicker as well. Right, I need to tidy up. We'll get it loaded. Right. Watch check. It's 12:30 at night, man. It's gonna be a bit of a long one tomorrow, maybe. We've got everything done in the end, just about. Dog's fuming. She ain't got a clue what's going on. She's like, why are we still here? But yeah, still here. Definitely still here. But that is all from today. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I'll see you in another video. We'll go to Donington Park and have a good time. Obviously didn't wash the car or anything, but hey, at least it's going and mechanically should be like that. A funny story, I started the car up to get it off here. We're waiting for the power steering to kick in. I was like, what the fuck's going on here? And then I realised no more power steering. Right, I'll see you tomorrow. Donington. Test with our 1070 kilo. We have 30 kilogram weight loss and no power steering, and yeah, let's see how it goes. See if that engine's got a bit more power now. We'll be able to compare the top speeds from when we raced at Donington earlier in the year. So yeah, see you there.